Hello, I have a 1923 Model T, and for years I've been wanting to duplicate early vintage decorative headlight lenses for this car. That's what we'll be doing today. This is my 1923 headlight lens that I just took off my Model T. And as you can see, the lens has turned purple due to the 97 years of sitting in the sun. I'm going to make a reproduction of a pre-1915 headlight lens. This is it. I've got a pair of them. And the reason why I'm going to make a duplicate in clear plastic is that this does not fit into the bezel. The Model T has these, I guess they would be called tangs here and here, and they are in the way. And in order for me to use this lens, I literally have to grind off sections of this original antique glass, and I'm not willing to do that. So if I make a perfect reproduction in plastic, they'll fit perfectly, and I can just sand off those edges on the plastic and make them fit. So that's what today's project is going to be. To make the containment box to hold the silicone in place while curing, I use a 2-inch thick insulation foam from the builder supply store. It's easy to cut, shape, and sand to a smooth finish and glue. Okay, I've taken a piece of 2-inch foam, outlined the outside of the headlight, and I also added 5/8 of an inch on that outside for the silicone that I'm going to be using. I'm starting with 220. I'll probably take it all the way to 1,000. That's how smooth you can get it. That way when you put the silicone on it, it won't stick as much. Now I'll need to make a platform for the lens to sit on top of. If you look inside this original, you'll see that it had bubbles in it. So I'm starting to wonder whether I really need to put it under pressure. If there's a few champagne bubbles, I think that'll be okay. I cut out this platform to sit into the containment mold out of foam, but I realized that I need, if I just have the silicone on top of here, I won't be able to pull it off on the back side when I need to. So what I've decided to do is take it, section it up, cut this out, and then section these. And then when I put it down in here, when I take it out from the back side, I can easily take out the section. So that's what I'm gonna do now, is just take this over to my bandsaw, cut this out and cut these out, and put spacers on top of here. Using a little bit of Tight Bond, I'm just gonna dab just enough to hold these blocks in place. Let's put this puzzle together. Now what I need to do is place my lens, my original lens, in here. But I want to, of the two lenses, this one isn't as nice as this chipped one. And even though it's chipped, I'm going to use it because I don't know if you can see this in the light, but there are ripples in the top of the glass here. And I would rather not have that. I would rather have the one that is the cleanest. But the cleanest one has a chip out of the top. Won't affect it, but the glass is a lot better. I'm going to make a pour spout at the top up here, right where the chip is. I'll just lay some clay in there and then make a pour spout, so when I pour it, I'll be pouring this vertical. So we're just gonna finish this up, pushing it all the way around here. The clay that I'm using is plastilina because it doesn't have any sulfur in it. If you use clay that has sulfur in it, your silicone will not cure. Okay, I laid in all the clay and smoothed it out. Now I'm going to put in my Keyways all around it. And before I do that, I want to add my logo into it. So a couple of years ago, I made an engraving with my logo. Here is the molding of it right here. But I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to put it down here in the corner. This headlight doesn't seem to have a copyright or a trademark or a logo of any kind. And since it's from the era of about 1915, I doubt that anybody's going to come after me for copyright infringement. Okay, I mixed up a little Vaseline in this paper cup, mixed with some ordinary paint thinner. Next thing to do will be to add in the Keyways. What I'm going to do, and I found out this when I would make steering wheel, I cut a real thin 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, and I put it around the outside edge. It's an extra layer of making sure that it doesn't leak out the side. I call it my Great Wall of China. I got all my Keyways in, so the only thing that I have to do now is do a final cleansing of the lens. Okay, we are all set to put the Mold Max 30 into the containment mold. Here's my bucket. I've got 488 grams in there, and I just put 48, which is 10% of the A side in there, and now I'm going to mix it up and then vacuum it. Okay, now that the vacuuming is done, this will be my first pour of several. Okay, we're gonna scrape it now. Now we're gonna mix up the second batch, because as you can see, I still have a ways to go. Okay, we're gonna do the second pour now. And the second pour is a little over 300 grams. I'll see how high it brings it up to the edge here. Okay, here's the third pour. And we're hoping it takes it right up to the top, all the way to the top. 12 hours have passed, and as you can see, everything's nice and firmed up. Now we're going to turn it over and take out. So, as you can see, we have all this clay around here that needs to be removed. We're going to retain the pour spout, so I won't take that out, but I'll take out all this clay and the Keyways. There we go. There we go. Oh, this is the way I like it, when it comes out all the way around. Remember how I told you about making the China wall all around here? Well, that's it right here. And I'm going to have to pull that out so that we have a trough going all the way around. Now I need to increase this chimney on this side of the mold. The next big step is to create a barrier between this silicone and the silicone we're going to put on it. So this, and I use the old-fashioned way, which is Vaseline and a little bit of paint thinner. And the reason why I do this is because if you use something like 200 ease release, which is you spray it and you'll spray it on the object. The problem is if you're doing a steering wheel, you don't want any kind of silicone on your steering wheel, because if you have to paint it at a later date, the paint won't stick because it's got a silicone molecules on it. And you paint right up to your object. Okay, we're ready to pour the first pour on the second half. Okay, I'm going to turn off the vacuum now. Want to make sure it's level. Okay, this is my first pour on the second side. All right, let's pour. Okay, I'm going to top this off with just a little more. Okay, now that 12 hours have passed and this is nice and firmed up, we need to take away the foam, because it's just temporary anyway. We don't need it anymore. It was just a containment mold to hold the silicone. So I'm going to break it apart. Take out the original that's sandwiched between the front and the back. So we're just going to, if you have a mold that you made out of this foam and you can't get all of it out, a little bit of lacquer thinner dissolves it right away. Here's a close-up of that China wall that I put in there. Keeps the resin from flowing out. The next step is to take a piece of MDF, and we're going to make a top and a bottom for it so I can rubber band this mold together. I put some screws in here, and so one part's going to go on the top, one part's going to go on the bottom. And now I'm going to put on the top and the bottom to hold it. And we're just going to take some number 64 and tie it down. We'll mix up 115 grams of the crystal clear 202. And I added some violet because I want to duplicate that same look early glass had and my Model T lens had, because it had that effect of the manganese in the glass. So this is the color that I'm shooting for. And now to slowly pour it into my mold. This should be bubble free after it cures. Now we're just going to let it cure for 3 hours. And let's take this apart and see how it came out. Very good. Okay, we're going to do another unveiling of the headlight lens. Since I don't drive my car at night, I'm not too worried about it throwing the light down the road, because the car never comes out at night. But let's see what we have here. Very good. I now have two identical headlight lenses with a little tint of violet. So the next thing is I'll just need to trim these up, clip the sides so they'll fit inside the bezels, and put them in my Model T. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, send me a comment and subscribe. Thank you.